All right, guys, I just wanted to preface the video that you guys are about to watch, or the podcast you're about to listen to. So it's not the best quality because it was recorded on Skype. We are working on getting our sound quality better. We are not using Skype anymore. We are only going to use Zoom, and for the most part, we're going to try to locally record our audio and video whenever possible. This is a really good podcast. His name is Noah Mittman, and he was on American Ninja Warrior for 3 years. He's also an entrepreneur. So I recommend, as bad as the audio and video is, to just watch the whole thing. It will be worth your while, and you will not see bad quality videos like this anymore on the channel. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy.
Hi, our guest on the show. Usually, this is a stock market podcast, but we talk about investing all the time. And the most important thing you can do is invest in yourself. And we have an entrepreneur, a filmmaker, a video marketing coach. He's the CEO of a company called Snowman Films. And last but not least, I mean, how could we not talk about this? He was a contestant on American Ninja Warrior. So,
Yeah.
I mean, so we have Noah Mittman on the show. And we appreciate you joining us today and taking some time out of your day.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So I was looking through some of your videos on your Instagram, and I saw you did one today. I think it was at like 10 o'clock with some, I forget her name, Lisa.
On Instagram?
Or not on Instagram. There was some live stream
Okay.
I watched. Yeah, it was excellent. You were showing how like you can move your camera and see different angles. And
that's right. Yeah.
And it was very professional. Great show. I like the structure of it. I think you could add a lot of value to a lot of podcasters like ourselves.
That's
So I know there's a lot of people that are watching this, and a lot of people more than ever are starting podcasts now because of the pandemic. And I know your business must be doing pretty well because of that. You at least have a lot more customers.
Yeah. Why don't we talk about how that's going first?
Yeah.
Business with the pandemic?
Yeah.
Actually, it's been the craziest not good year I've ever had.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Even with like technology has been booming and stuff like that. So that's really shocking.
I know. I have friends that are doing fine still, and you would think with the move to video, and I mean, some people might be doing fine. I'm just having trouble finding what I was doing before kind of getting into the online course space was selling video marketing subscription packages for businesses, entrepreneurs, local people, and did really almost hit 100K in 2018 and 2019. So it really was going off. And then March of 2020 happened, and the lockdown happened, and I lost all the clients because we couldn't go shoot in person. And was really struggled to get any of them back afterwards, because I think it's just maybe the level of businesses that I was serving got hit super hard and really didn't have the means to because they kind of viewed digital marketing as like an extra expense, like not super needed. But that's it's kind of got me into the online course space, and marketing is part of that, which is cool. So really now doing and now my wife is working as a carpenter with her dad, so I have the kids more, so I'm kind of less able to go out and do shoots because she started up when the business kind of fell apart. She picked up the slack, which was amazing. And so now I'm also kind of at home more, so I'm down for editing stuff, which is great, but not as much on location stuff.
So what does it take to start a business? What is the mindset of a person who wants to start a business and overcome that fear?
And what did you do before this?
Yeah. I'll see. I'll do what I did before, and then I'll kind of what it takes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've been a filmmaker since high school. I remember seeing in high school, I was a junior, I think, the behind the scenes to The Matrix, and it was like, oh my God, that looks like the coolest job ever, being on set for something. and kind of made up my mind, got a camera a year later and just started making videos. And it was a passion for a long time. Went to film school and didn't graduate, but I got close. I actually don't recommend film school for people that want a film career. Just go make stuff. YouTube can teach you everything.
You can learn everything on the internet.
You can learn
literally.
everything online.
Don't spend the money. Just go learn on YouTube. But no, I started kind of freelancing, and so it was interesting. I was really lucky that I found my passion at an early age. I found it like when I was a teenager, and it's stayed through. I just like, can we swear on the show?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I like making cool shit, and that has not changed. And the cool shit has changed over the years. But I had a long history of parkour and free running kind of action sports, which is what got me into Ninja Warrior. Did 3 seasons of that as a contestant, hit my one buzzer, did a backflip, and then collapsed. It's a crazy show. It's all night shoots. So like I was running at like 3:30 in the morning.
That must have been a crazy experience.
So I definitely want to talk about that, but I do want to pivot to something else. So I was watching I was going through your Instagram page for your you have a podcast. What is it? Create a podcast.
Create your course.
Create your course. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
So I was watching some of your videos on Instagram, and one of them that I found interesting was one. It was labeled how to create a podcast on no budget or a small budget.
Mm-hmm.
And you used an iPhone, or a phone. You said you do everything on your phone. You don't really need anything. So are you doing all of your teaching and courses you record with your phone?
So I have filming. I'm a filmmaker, so I do have like more professional gear. That's why I use that, because I've spent the money on it. Talk about investing in yourself. That's it. I've probably put in, I think, like $15K into myself over the years, in gear and in education and stuff. Probably more.
Well, like you said, you had a couple of years where you're making $100,000, so it pays for itself.
It paid for the ROI is insane. For $1,500 or even a $2,000, $3,000 camera, you pay it off on your first job sometimes. But no, I mean, I do higher level stuff because that's, I in my filmmaking bones, it's hard to do less. But yeah, no. So I have a whole kind of section on filming. You can do a podcast, you can do a course, whatever it is, you can do it on your phone. And because essentially your phone is $1,000 camera.
Exactly.
The way that they're updating the cameras, they're updating the technology so fast that a lot, and in the ads even, they're promoting photography and filmmaking as part of like why you get the phone. So essentially you have $1,000 camera sitting in your pocket, so you might as well use it to make you more money.
So I have a question. Being on American Ninja Warrior, and I'm sure you saw the behind the scenes filmmaking stuff. Did you learn anything from that, even just being there, filmmaking wise?
Yeah, I mean, there was the amount of coverage is insane. And also, I mean, they say it's live, it's not. They actually in the beginning of the night, you start because they do basically sundown to sun up, which is nuts because I was there for when the first American Ninja Warrior won. Jeff and Isaac both made it up the tower. They were running at sunrise. Like it had been going all night.
Wow.
Which is insane. The guy that Drew, he got caught up on some bad charges and they have since parted, but the way he trained was staying up all night and sleeping during the day to win the show. He's a piece of shit, but he
season was this?
The last season he actually won, but he got caught up on some pedophile charges. So yeah. But no, but so experience though of all the cameras was intense. There's like there's a solid 15-20 cameras for coverage. At the beginning of the night they do crowd reactions. They're like, all right, act like somebody did really well. Yeah. All right, act like somebody just fell. Oh, and then they cut to those reactions while they're filming or while they're editing.
That's pretty cool because you don't really know how that works when you're just watching from home. So that's cool.
That's why they have so many of those, like, like guy covers his face when somebody falls, because they do all of those, like it's put together like anything is. You can't get that amazing coverage live. It's hard to, at least, but be at least playing. And Matt Eisman is a total boss. He gets everybody's energy going the whole time. He is absolutely incredible. And I'll tell you, man, who is Matt Eisman? Matt Eisman is the host of the show,
okay.
the American Ninja Warrior.
Oh, right. I couldn't remember his name. I've seen maybe like a dozen episodes, so I
Yeah.
haven't seen a lot of
I
them.
don't watch it much either.
So let me jump in here again. So you're a business owner. You've been on American Ninja Warrior. I'm currently reading a book called Mindset, and basically what it talks about is there's two types of mindsets. There's the growth mindset, then there's the fixed mindset. And basically, someone with a fixed mindset, they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe they can learn. And then someone with a growth mindset is the complete opposite. Has your mindset sort of shaped the way your life has gone, basically?
Like on 100%. Like it's if you're not committed to growth and to bettering yourself and to learning every day and to and keeping your ego as much out of the learning process as possible, you're not going to make it as an entrepreneur.
So do you think anybody can do it, or do you think so there's also something called well, it's not really let me say it this way actually. So there's learning and then there's IQ. So do you think that it doesn't matter how smart you are, it just matters how hard you
determined
work?
you are?
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah. I think
it's both.
I think emotional intelligence is super important with, cause just with how much you're dealing with people with entrepreneurship. Like when you're an entrepreneur, especially solopreneur, you are constantly building relationships. And even when you have clients, you have to maintain those relationships. You have to read sales, all that stuff if you have high EQ, what was it? High emotional intelligence. So whatever. The emotional side, you don't have to be the smartest person, but if you understand people and you understand relationships, you're going to do pretty well.
That's really interesting because I'm reading a lot of psychology books right now because I'm going to school for education and psychology. So it's interesting to hear you say that. So
I wanted that as a minor, but I didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how do you get onto a show like American Ninja Warrior? Did you have a connection? Did you just do a tryout? How does that work?
It's literally a submission video that you send to a link and you fill out a couple pieces of information and then they call you or they don't.
What kind of video do you submit for that?
I have a parkour background. I was in parkour and free running for 10 years.
Have you watched The Office?
Backflip when I need to. Oh yeah, of course. The Office is what
I just thought of the parkour episode as soon as you said.
Of course, it's right into the mainstream. It's hilarious. No, but like I had that background. So how A&W came up for me was I kept seeing a bunch of my friends on the show, and I was like, I literally had I was like, I'm not going to be next American Ninja Warrior. These guys are so strong, it's ridiculous. Like the level of strength to just lock out your arms at 90 degrees and just like go, it's nuts.
Yeah, there's two kinds of strength though. There's body weight strength, and then there's like just like bench press where you can just lift something as heavy as you can. Those are two like completely different types of strength. So the type of strength you need on American Ninja Warrior, that more leans towards body weight stuff, right?
It's all body weight, 100%.
And you need an incredible balance, I would imagine.
Yeah. So I actually sent in a parkour video, as well as doing, salmon, showing that I could do the salmon ladder, showing that, just different things of specific skills. And it worked. I have a perfect record for submission to acceptance. And I've actually done video editing work for, and actually filming for other ninjas that wanted to get on and got them on the show too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's a good way to transition that into getting some clients too, right?
And I charged. It was cool. It was like, hey, listen, I have this skill. I know how to get on the show, and I know like what you should be saying, and it worked. It was really cool.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
The mindset of facing down the course is very similar to the mindset of like, I'm going to make my business work. It is like, okay, don't fall in the water. This is real. You get one shot and you have to just give your best and not until literally like because I fell a couple times on a couple seasons. That was only because I couldn't feel my hands anymore.
Wow.
Like literally you get to the point where you're so tired because the course is crazy hard. Like it's like
what was the hardest
really
part
strong
for
people
you?
are doing it.
What would you say the hardest obstacle of that show was for you? Or
Good
the
question.
course, I should say.
I mean, honestly, for me, the hanging stuff was not the easiest because it's like rock climber strength. I was a parkour guy, so I could like run and jump.
Yeah.
I could go down one side of the quad steps, no problem. Like I could just run that.
So I have a question. Have you really taken advantage of this? So you were on American Ninja Warrior. Did you like take advantage of that? I'm sure a lot of people saw you and sort of like take that success and branch it out to all different social media platforms.
I wish I had enough screen time to make that happen.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I got the most screen time I had was my buddy Lauren Ball is one of actually like their superstars. I was roommates with him at the time, and he's the record for the most fastest time city qualifying rounds in the show's history. He's been on like every season, but I was like his like flipping breakdancing partner in one of the things. Other than that, I had my name on the show for like 5 seconds when they showed my run and me falling, and that's what most get.
The reason I brought that up is because when you talk about pivoting, so for me, I have another YouTube channel with like 50,000 subscribers. It was a gaming channel, but I wasn't able to sort of pivot it and take the success that I had from Fortnite. So I got big from Fortnite. I wasn't able to pivot it and take it and turn it completely into something else. So a lot of people that blew up from Fortnite, they took it. And they either started vlogging, they started selling merchandise, they started doing like that. So how important is it to like have an opportunity like that and make sure that you're branching out? Yeah,
absolutely. No, I totally did. Honestly, I mean, again, I mention it for this because everybody knows that show and it's like an immediately like cool factor. I view back when, so 2018, 2019, I was doing a lot of in-person workshops to bring new clients into the business. It was really, really successful. I was doing, 5 secrets to successful video marketing, teaching people how to do it, and then saying, hey, if you don't want to handle all this, we can do it for you. And it was a really good client getter for us. What I would do is in the intro of that, I would, do my, just like you guys did, like, here's who he is, blah, blah, blah. I've also been on American Ninja Warrior. The whole room goes, oh, cool. And I'm like, all right, who wants to see a side flip? And I go and flip over somebody. We'd come back in the room. They're all jazzed up, and now I get to teach. So it was like hey, you can trust me. I'm a cool guy, and this is a fun experience, and probably your most memorable workshop in the last 6 months.
And then they go tell everybody they know, hey, I just had a workshop with somebody who was on American Ninja Warrior, and then you get more people.
So it's using your skills to to have fun. Like everybody loves a backflip, and I definitely think a backflip is a life skill. And I've gotten a free burrito off a backflip before. And it's cool. And again, it's just like using what you have on hand, which is also very much entrepreneurial, like using the skills that you are gifted with and creating something that people resonate with and then making some money off of it and really making an impact with your skills.
Now, did you start create your podcast or create your course podcast after American Ninja Warrior? Or did you have that going?
I created that just a few months ago, actually. So,
okay.
2020 was the ultimate pivot because, again, like kind of the video marketing side of things fell apart, which, again, so many people that I talked to are like, you must be doing great. I'm like, you would think. But no, I took the time I realized that course creation was the move because everything's going online, and a lot of people want to create their own stuff and don't have budget to hire somebody out. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make a course that helps people to film their online course at home. And then I was like, I know I need a podcast around this to like talk, because a podcast, just like this is networking. It's great. You meet new people. Yeah. I want having your own platform to add to that is huge. And I knew that my ideal customers were course creators, were specifically first-time course creating fempreneurs. So I was like, okay, I want to create a podcast in the course creation space. I went to see what was out there, and the podcasts with the actual word course in them, I think the most reviews out there was like 15. So there was like not a lot of, there's a big opportunity there to be like the #1 course creator podcast, specifically course creators fast. So I was like, okay, got the name. It was available, which was super cool. And just got to it. And I've actually just switched my Facebook group now over, because it was kind of video, realizing now that I have the entire course creation process on a bit of a lock, and just understanding like where people need help with it. So I'm doing coaching around that, and now my group is not anymore about video, but it's called Stop Waiting and Start Creating Your Course. So helping course creators is really the niche that I found through this last year. And I just got off of a consultation call about 20 minutes ago and sold another package. So it's starting to work.
Awesome. Hey, that's great. So if someone wanted to go about contacting you for creating a course, where can they find your links, or is it?
Yeah.
So we can drop that in our description for you too to help you out. But where can they go to find your information?
Facebook is really where I hang out a lot. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn, but Facebook on my personal profile is Noah Mittman. My group that my profile points you to with my cover photo and all this stuff, I kind of have a funnel built there. If you go to facebook.com/groups/stop waiting and start creating your course, you'll find it and join our community. And also, I mean, honestly, just messaging me is really fast to getting in touch, because almost every day it's my primary thing that I'm really using for marketing right now. And the podcast is Create Your Course. I'm on LinkedIn, The Snowman, and I'm available.
So what do people need for this course? Like, what do they need? What kind of microphone do they need? Can they just use their phone? Like, what do they need to?
It really depends on the level, the level you want to go. I have kind of a fancier mic here, but like you can literally start with just a mic that attaches, you guys, I mean, your AirPods work great for that. Yeah. Even headphones that have a mic attached to them work great.
I'm guessing you're using an XLR mic.
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a mixture over here. It's fantastic.
Yeah, XLR mics are the bomb. I think I used to have a Blue Yeti, which is just a USB mic. I'm using a cheaper USB mic right now, but I think it actually unplugged, so I'm probably gonna have to use the audio through my phone. But I digress.
Now I know. Now I know I need a bookcase behind me, because the video content creator has one, and I've been thinking about doing that myself. I'm like, it just looks more professional.
Okay, so sorry about that. I am currently at my mom's house because she watches my kids a couple days a week when I do work, and this is her stuff. This is that. So I've been wanting to change this actually to more kind of filmy stuff.
I think it looks professional.
There you go. It's enough to see the details of the pictures. It's just that there are pictures.
Did you meet any cool people on the show while you were there?
Tons. I even actually working afterwards too. So Jeff Britton, who was the first guy to actually climb the tower and win, but then Isaac just happened to do it faster, and Jeff got nothing, which is so effed. Anyway. He's part of the Ninja Nation company, which is a Ninja Warrior gym, and they were a big client of ours for almost 2 years. And again, they had to pause because the gym had to shut down, at least pause to be on lockdown and stuff. But yeah, he was super cool. God, let's see who other well-known people. I'm trying to think. Again,
it doesn't have to necessarily be well-known, just like cool people in general, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, who has a ton of fun? Oh God, it's been a couple years. I feel so terrible that I don't remember names. So where you can find the ninjas, if you do want to chat with them and hang out with them, there's a group called Ninja Warrior Comrades, or no, Sasuke Comrades, something like that, on Facebook, and that's where everybody is.
All right, we're gonna have to get them all on the show one by one.
They know that I put the fans onto them. They might be pissed, but no, I'm kidding. And the coolest thing is honestly the whole, similar to the entrepreneur and course creator community, the Ninja Warrior community around the show. Like there's so many gyms, and there's just this whole like this ecosystem that's popped up. Everybody is so cool, just wants each other to succeed. There's like competition within yourself to do better, but there's not like, oh, F that guy, he got faster than
that's a good transition actually. I have a question about that. So in the gaming community is awful, so toxic towards each other. So it sounds like you're saying that your community, the Ninja Warrior community or the kinesthetics community, is really like positive.
It really is. Especially the Ninja Warrior community. It is because it's people that are just grinding and doing their thing. Like everybody's trying to succeed. It's a new sport essentially. It's created a new sport. There's legit races that go on through the year that have like prize money, and there's these events. So it's everybody's rooting for each other. I mean, you even see like on the show when there's when somebody's running, there's a group of people that have other ninjas in it that are running with them, trying like they want each other to succeed.
That's awesome. There's nothing worse. There's nothing more toxic than people trying to bring you down. It deteriorates.
Around in that, honestly, one of the kind of morals that I live my life by is don't stay where you are tolerated, go where you are celebrated. And
I like that quote.
Try to live that, to be like, okay, like how am I feeling? How are these people treating me? And if it's like they don't want me around, why? I'm not going to stick around this. I don't have time for this shit. Well, like I need to help people and lift people up.
I love that quote.
You know what it is? It's people are scared that, kind of like in the podcasts, like they're scared that if someone's going to listen to someone else's podcast and there's not going to pay attention to yours.
Right.
I don't know about you, but I have dozens of podcasts I listen to.
Yeah.
Maybe more than that. And if it's good content, I listen.
Good content is good content, and there's more than enough to go around. That's the other thing. Definitely. It's kind of an abundance mindset versus a scarcity mindset. Like, especially with the course creating community, like online course creators know that this is on the rise. There's a lot of opportunities. This is like getting a course on like right now in the next couple of years here before education in general moves online and is out of the college system, which will happen eventually, I think. This is like getting Malibu beachfront property before it was Malibu. Like this is like set your claim, get your tribe, get your thing that you're doing going and help people. And then when this is the way generally that education is done, and there's a shift happening, I think, right now, especially with COVID, everybody's creating stuff and being inside. And education is going to be out. Like, would you rather kind of have like an outdated textbook or somebody that's a professional that keeps updating their content that you're paying a tenth of the price for? Like, it really just makes more sense. So getting in on that is huge. And the opportunity, if you can do it, is massive. So everybody wants each other to succeed and they want to help get there. Like asking, like there's so much. Facebook groups is popping so hard right now. It's nuts.
Yeah. I'm all over Facebook groups, Pod Nation.
Fantastic. Oh yeah. Pod Nation. That's how we got connected. I mean, the Facebook group is how we got connected. Like it's just reaching out.
It's a great group. Yeah.
Doing promotion work and getting yourself out there. And something about obviously the Ninja Warrior thing in my post caught your attention, and now we're talking. Like it's all the good stuff.
Yeah.
So what's
in the future we could potentially refer people to you, and you could refer people to us, and it works out great.
Or have some videos done, send them my way.
Yeah, definitely. So sorry, go ahead, Andrew.
I was just gonna say, what's the best way to invest in yourself? Is it simply to believe in yourself? How did you get started doing all this, really?
Yeah. It was, I think, okay. So you have to believe in yourself to a level if you really want to succeed, because again, it takes years and years. I love the overnight success myth because it's you're an overnight success.
It's all about consistency. All about consistency. I believe in that.
Yeah.
In my heart.
You have to believe in yourself so much that it's like a mental illness.
Yeah.
You have to literally be crazy at the point where because stuff can be falling apart around you. Like if I was relatively sane and safe right now, I would go get a job if anybody's hiring. I don't even know, but I would go work at a grocery store, whatever the hell, just to make the bills. But I'm like, no, I'm committed to this, to making this work. And I know that again, I just booked $1,000 coaching package, and it's gonna. I mean, it would take me how much longer would it take me with a regular quote unquote job to make that amount? And I'm not even doing something I love and I'm good at, but that's the thing. That's a trade-off for me, is when you can find something that you're good at enough for people to pay you and you enjoy, you're in the 0.1% of the world that actually does what they enjoy for work, which is huge.
So absolutely.
Yeah. The
reward is so much bigger than the potential negative side. So for me, yes, you have to believe in yourself, and that belief follows with investing in education. I think for anybody, because again, I'm invested in gear. That's just what we do. You update cameras every 5 years or whatever. But invest. I heard a great Ramit Sethi, who's I Will Teach You to Be Rich, he starts his book out with, okay, if you're ever thinking about buying a book and you're not sure if you should spend the money, just spend it, because if you get even one nugget out of that changes your life in a better way, it's worth the $12 or whatever. Like education,
it doesn't even have to be formal education. It could be going on YouTube, reading books. You're gonna learn no matter what. It doesn't have to be college. If you open a book, if you go on YouTube, if you find something and you use it to your advantage and you start a business or do whatever, it just takes a little bit of knowledge and then believing in yourself.
In fact, I would say only like forget formal education, quote unquote. Only go internet, book, course, any type of digital education, or like something from a pro that is working in their field that you found that like makes more sense. That is going to be, because it's going to be more updated, it's going to be more current, and it is probably going to be evolving as you evolve, and it's way more relevant. So no, I mean, that's the other thing is, I mean, it's for entrepreneurs or people thinking about becoming entrepreneurs. You fall in love with educating yourself and with getting more knowledgeable. Like a year ago when I was doing full-on video marketing, I didn't know enough to coach course creators, and now I've given myself a year of intensive education and I feel comfortable with it, because I've problem solved myself, and I've learned, I've been through the trials and tribulations of getting a course up, and I know answers now, and it's that study is what gets you to the next level.
So the thing about failure is you don't see it as a detriment. A lot of people see failure and they see it as, I failed, people are going to judge me, I'm the worst, I'm awful, I can't do this. You look like you're seeing failure as you basically want to work even harder when you fail, which is the mindset that you need, really.
Exactly. And I'm all the quotes tonight, right? One of my favorite quotes about failure is it's a Bliss and Esso song, and it's a lyric, and it says, "I never win or lose, I only win or learn."
You
only fail if you stop. It's only a failure if you stop trying.
I'm gonna jump in because that goes great into my next point. I was reading about a school that instead of giving their kids like A's, B's, C's, and D's, they put on the report card yet or not yet. So it's a mindset thing. I haven't done this yet, but that doesn't mean I failed at it. I just haven't learned how to do it yet. And I thought that was really cool and related back to what you were saying. But anyways, go on.
Absolutely. No, it's okay. I'm a not yet forever on high level math.
Basically, what Andrew's trying to say is we need to get you in the stock market. You're not there yet.
So again, like when I get enough money to be past bills and like kind of climb back from this COVID hole, investing is basically
first is more important. I agree.
Well, because you can't, other than that, it's not your money if you're in debt.
Exactly.
Right.
Do you listen to Dave Ramsey at all?
Investing is building wealth, and I understand that. So, I mean, the stock, I want my Tesla. I want my what other like, I don't know.
Give me some. Well, Bitcoin and Tesla are the hot ones.
Down the line, but like, let's do it. Why not?
Your voice just cut out. What was the last thing you said? Sorry, we didn't hear you.
Investing, it's going to be so far down the line, but like if I were to jump in today, what would be some fun, like good starting ones?
Well, so our first video we did was what you brought up, is telling people, look, before you invest, be smart, pay off any high credit card debt, because the interest rate on that is going to kill you more and you're not going to make any money.
Right.
The money you make investing isn't going to cover your interest rate.
Yeah, like if you have a credit card with a 24% interest rate, that's very hard to see a 24% return. Yeah.
Right.
So might as well just pay off your credit card first.
So we tell people, you were talking about books. One of my favorite books is Richest Man in Babylon. And they talk about it's a rags to riches story. And the poorest man becomes the richest man of Babylon, the ancient city of wealth. And we always say invest in yourself, which is a great segue for having you on. This is a great example. Invest in yourself and save at least 10% of your income, and do that for a year. Build an emergency fund. Once you have an emergency fund, then you can start investing.
Yeah, because
100%.
you seen with COVID, you never know what's going to happen. Having an
Yeah.
emergency fund is very
It's
important.
changed the game completely. Absolutely. Like, and it's, I mean, the lessons from this are going to be a lifetime, right? Like, it's going to be, you never know what's going to happen and what could come crashing down. So, like, for me right now, the goal is to book enough of these kind of, I have some freelance gigs in the work too, but like, get a couple months of rent paid off up front, get a couple car payments paid up front. So our big expenses, me and my wife, are less, and then we can go after the credit cards, we can go after the other stuff, and once that's taken care of, then yeah, get that emergency fund and get into what's going to make us wealth.
I totally agree. I don't know if you listen to Dave Ramsey at all, but what he says first, yeah, he says first, and I somewhat pretty much agree with him. He's a little bit extreme, but he says pay off all your debts first, not including your house. Obviously, your house you're gonna have for a while, but pay off your student loans, your credit cards. Once you do that, then you can start investing. Because if you have debt, you're a slave to the person who owned that.
Correct.
So it's just you want to pay that off first, and then you'll feel financially free, and you'll be able to do whatever you want with your money.
Yeah, and that's I mean that's the goal that we're all trying to get to, right? Like that's
yeah.
I'm gonna go. We were actually just talking. We had literally this conversation last night. Me and my wife were like, if we were at a point where money didn't matter anymore, like because we were watching a movie where somebody was like crazy rich, and it was just like, all right, like what would you even fill your time with? I was like, well, I mean, we would travel the world. Travel. That's what
and you see that even a lot of the richest people, if you look at people like Jeff Bezos, they still work 24/7 because what is their purpose without work? They have all the money that they want. They might as well try to better the world or better themselves.
What was interesting? I think the best teacher, because like I'm a filmmaker, so obviously movies are a big part of my life. The movie that impacted me the most on the work-life balance is an Adam Sandler movie. Funny enough, it's Click. When he works his entire life and dies like alone and just heartbroken because he loses everything important to him. I was like, I literally have to think about that because if I wasn't married and had kids, I'd be a full-on workaholic every minute. Absolutely. But I try to take, I generally take weekends off. We're kind of going a little extra right now to get out of the hole, but weekends are for family for me, and that's kind of ironclad, and that keeps the balance for me to where I'm not going to lose relationships. Like, yeah, exactly. You can have $100 million, but if you don't have anybody to share it with, and you aren't happy, and you're just addicted still to the work, like, what's that life? That's not happy.
That's a good point. That's for sure a good point.
The hustle and balance.
Yeah, I seen I forget what his name is. Someone from Shark Tank. What is his name? Mr. Wonderful. Mr. Wonderful was talking about that, how it has sort of ruined his family relationships with his wife. I think he said. I was watching a video on YouTube.
That's so fucked.
And I thought it was
like, congrats on the success. You've lost all of your major relationships and people that you care about you, and good job on your savings account.
Yeah, there's got to definitely be a balance. I totally agree with you there.
Because otherwise, what it's like, so that's one thing that's important to me is and the reason my wife fell in love with me was that I was passionate. I follow my passion. I stand up for my passion, and I chase that down and really go after that. Second thing is not being afraid to admit when you need balance and you need that. Like, everything's not about work. You need a full life. Full life is not just I make a lot of money. Full life is I'm happy with my family situation. I'm happy with my money situation. We get to live. We do things that we enjoy. Like, there's I'm healthy. Having enough time to work out. Like I working out is essential to my mental health. I've realized this year, like just 20 minutes of cardio, and I am
the endorphins. The endorphins are so important.
Oh my God,
I totally agree.
Crazy. I have to.
Your family's doing good.
Family's healthy, and relationships are good, and friends are good. It's you can't just be all about work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything to add, Tony?
No, I think that's it. I'm really glad we got the chance to have you on, and I appreciate you taking the time.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, this was literally an awesome podcast.
And
100%.
if you could, you could send me the links when we get off, and then I'll add them to our video, and hopefully we can get you some business and we can help you out.
Thank you so much for both of your time, and this was a total blast.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you so much, man.
Have a good night.
You as well.